Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me is Ethan Slotkin, CEO of Shadow, to discuss why businesses need to accept NFTs and cryptocurrency from customers. Ethan, it's great to meet with you. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Thanks for having me.
And Ethan, as you're well aware, digital assets have become an easily accessible and transferable asset exchanged on a global scale from anywhere in the world, but businesses are just now beginning to really take this new means of monetization seriously. Explain to us what NFTs are and why new currencies are here to stay, these new digital currencies.
Yeah, so NFT stands for non-fungible token. So it's very much akin to the cryptocurrency that we hear about, the difference being each token is actually very unique. So if you think about it, in the current asset world, the past asset world, like art, for instance, each piece of art is unique. Very similarly, in the NFT world, this digital world, each asset is unique. The thing that's really nice about it is it solves a few problems. Number one, it solves provenance, meaning you have full traceability into the history of it and can figure out exactly where it went and who owned it. Two, it limits physical damage. So art can get physically damaged, basketball or sports cards can get physically damaged. That's avoided now because it's digital. And three, they're more liquid because you can actually sell them online directly and someone could purchase it without having to ship or anything else. They're more liquid as well. So solves several things compared to past assets.
And how can small businesses and entrepreneurs capitalize on NFTs and other digital monetization offerings?
Yeah, so if you are a small business, you're in the game of acceptance, right? So much like a small business would accept Visa, MasterCard, American Express, cryptocurrency is one more way that people can potentially pay you. And if there's a portion of your audience, your customer base, that prefers that method, that enables you to unlock an additional customer base, right? A wider group of people who can purchase. If you're an entrepreneur just looking to capitalize in the NFT space, what's interesting is as NFTs have been created, it's nascent, right? So there are problems, even though it's been around for several years, the real wave is most recently. And so with that has come problems, right? There's come problems of knowledge. So people don't know what NFTs are and how to purchase them or how to create them. So certainly there's educational opportunities to be able to create, to coach people. But then there's also services that are necessary. So for instance, like escrow services as it relates to direct payments are very useful and have been cropping up a whole lot as well. Analysis services have been cropping up. So being able to monitor what activity exists and provide people insight into which assets they should purchase or which they should sell and what the value is at any given point. So there's all these various services that when you have something as nascently built up as this, that you can provide that help bolster the ecosystem and can even be agnostic to a specific NFT platform or product. They can be as wide as NFTs in general.
How can small businesses build their businesses around NFTs then?
So there's different ways that you can do it. You can start from scratch and just look at what challenges people are having around as it relates to NFTs and build a fresh business around that. That's one option. Another option is, if you're a business that exists already and you're thinking about NFTs, one thing you can consider doing is NFTs just mean an asset that people want. So for example, Taco Bell recently released a golden burrito NFT, right? And so it's not just this digital asset, it also gives you access to be able to get, burritos for an extended period as well. You could do something similar. So if you think as a business owner, small business owner, through the lens of value to provide to customers want access. They want early access and early insight and knowledge. They want, a special loyalty deal where they can get, a free burrito whenever they want or whatever it is. Kings of Leon, the band, recently released, a package that gave early access and gave those people front row tickets to, a certain number of concerts every so often. Think about the things that your customers normally want, which is access, value, things like that. And you could package that into an NFT and be able to sell it. It's almost like an enhanced gift card / loyalty program for your business to be able to capitalize on this wave right now.
It's really interesting. We just had Yellowheart, who partnered with Kings of Leon on the show last week, to explain exactly how that transaction took place. And you had mentioned that education is so key for this. So I'm going to ask you a couple of one-on-one questions here. Yeah. I understand that you can transact with Bitcoin on PayPal as an example, correct? And in theory, can you also use NFTs? So for example, the first tweet that ever came out from Jack, if I understand it correctly, was an NFT. It went for a lot of money. Can that person who owns that go and transact? Can you, let's say, buy a house with it or buy goods with that? Or is it still early innings? How does that work?
Yeah, there's no reason one couldn't do that as long as people have the accounts necessary. It would be not unlike, not that this would happen very often, but not unlike if you were to trade somebody your car for somebody's house, for instance. It's just trading two assets at the end of the day. The only difference in this case is you need a wallet set up to be able to transfer the asset, right? And because the NFTs are decentralized, meaning there's a swap. If anybody's heard about blockchain, it's a smart contract, so it triggers when two things are validated by both parties. That's not the same case with a house. That's why you have lawyers and you have title companies. So you're basically going from decentralized to centralized. Because of that, almost because of lowest common denominator, you're going to need a middleman still to be able to manage the transaction. But it's totally doable. It's just a swap of two assets at the end of the day.
It's so interesting. I'm in the process of buying a home myself. And the first thing I thought of is, why do we have to go through title when blockchain can easily solve these issues? I mean, even if we dial it down a bit here, let's say I have a Mickey Mantle Ricky cord, which of course I don't, rather than having to go to a dealer to have it authenticated through NFTs and through the blockchain technology, it's already authenticated and you can transact as buyers and sellers without that middle person.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It would be not unlike trading fiat, trading gold bricks, anything like that, except it's digitized in this case, right? So like you're saying, it solves a lot of the middleman problem. It also makes the transactions that much more rapid as well, right? It's no longer 30 days of holding time and processing in title companies and paperwork and things like that. You can actually transact that much more rapidly, which is really nice for everybody as well.
And one last question before I let you go. We hear of these multi-million-dollar NFT sales happening at auction. Can the average investor like myself go and get something that's not trading within the millions? Are they available on a less capital intensive basis?
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. In all cases, it's worth doing your research and pinpointing artists you like or products you like. But there's at least 3, 4, 5 different marketplaces that exist. OpenSea, Rarible, NBA Top Shot's been a thing. You can buy assets in many cases for $5, $10, $50, $100. These are not all, $68 million or $60 million assets that exist. In addition to that, there's also equity versions of it that exist where you'll be able to buy a portion of an asset too. So there's plenty of ways, if you're an interested person that doesn't have a $68 million budget, which is many of us, that you could actually participate in something like this.
Interesting. Just like buying slices of stocks. Ethan, we appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks, and thanks for joining me. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.